It is an incredibly profitable time to be a sports bettor right now in the United States. And the reason is there are hundreds of sports books that have launched in this country. More continue to pop up month by month, and they all try to set and manage their own lines independently of each other. So if I were to ask you the price of Apple stock right now, whether you go over to Yahoo Finance, Fidelity, or Robinhood, you're going to see the same price no matter what platform you use. And that's because the stock market is very efficient, and it's the opposite with sports betting. If I asked you to check the odds on Ildemaro Vargas to hit a home run in tonight's Braves-Nationals game, so you hop over to ESPN Bet, DraftKings, Caesars, and FanDuel, and then what you come to learn is there's 4 different prices for this player prop. And right there lies opportunity. So sit back and relax as we are going to dive into each tool that OddsJam has to offer and break it down. By the end of this video, you'll understand the incredible power at your fingertips with this software. But first, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to beat the sports books. We upload videos every week teaching you how you can become a profitable sports bettor, and you're not going to want to miss a video. The first tool is browsing odds or line shopping for whatever bet that you want to wager on. I like to think of this as I'm a hunter in the woods and I'm always looking for value. Finding an edge will make you a profitable sports bettor in the long term. So an example of finding value when we're line shopping is looking at this Rockies first half team total over. A lot of sharp books like DraftKings, ESPN Bet, and the sharpest sports book in the world, Pinnacle, all have this favored. So if we wanted to profit $100, we'd have to put up $110 on ESPN Bet. On Pinnacle, we'd have to put up $119, DraftKings $120. But over at Hard Rock, we would just have to put up $95. So compared to ESPN Bet, that's a savings of $15 to receive the same exact payout. So where the value lies is if we unfortunately lose this bet, well then that's okay because we saved $15 compared to the next best price that we could receive, which was ESPN Bet. And that might not seem like a lot of money, but when we're placing 500 to 1,000 bets every month, this really adds up. So when we're back over looking at this Vargas to hit a home run example, if we placed a $100 wager on this, we're gonna get paid out an extra $350 on FanDuel compared to the next best book, which is Caesars. And that's a massive deal. That's a lot of extra money that we're leaving on the table if we don't go and bet this on FanDuel. So even if you only wanted to wager $25 on this play, that extra money that you're leaving on the table at FanDuel really adds up. But if you're not ruthlessly line shopping on your own, the sports books will rip you off. All right, so over here on the OddsJam homepage, the first thing that I like to do is come up here to the top right-hand corner and then click in whatever state that you live in. If you are a resident outside of the United States, then check to see if we have your province here in Canada or maybe the country that you live in. If you don't see your country, don't worry. We are always expanding our country's list, so be on the lookout for when we add yours. So then the first thing that you're going to notice is right here, this is actually a sports book that I haven't signed up with yet and I need to take advantage of. What I love is you can just click the claim $25. It's going to take me right to the Thrills app or the website right here, and I can sign up and take advantage of their early sign up bonus right away. But if you're someone that lives in North Carolina, and you have maybe access to more sports books, this is another way outside of performing a Google search that you're going to find out that there's maybe some sports books that you haven't signed up with yet, and you want to sign up with every single sports book possible because they offer wonderful promo opportunities. And if you're serious about making money sports betting, you need to perform a Google search to find out what sports books are available to you in the state that you live in. I know in California and Texas, there aren't many books available to them, but a book like Fliff is available in 49 of 50 states. So you want to make sure you're on top of every book that's available to you because more books equals more value, equals more opportunities, equals more money. So think of yourself like a day trader in the stock market, and you always need to be on the lookout for the best price possible. So right here for Chris Sale, over 5.5 strikeouts, let's say you just ignore BetMGM. So you as a trader basically are saying to yourself, well, I'm okay paying an extra 30 or 40% playing this over at DraftKings, and that's just a recipe for disaster. That's not how you're going to become a profitable sports bettor. You need to be always looking to grab the best price possible, that little edge, whether we're getting paid out more or maybe we're just putting up less for this play. That's how you're going to become profitable when you're consistently making these types of bets. So the next tool that we'll dive into is the positive EV tool. And guys, positive EV just means profitable. So these are plays that are profitable, all that have an edge. This tool constantly scans and looks at all the different data points, all the different sports books out there, and then shows you the biggest discrepancies where we have an edge. So in terms of filters, we'll expand this. There's really only two filters that I have. One is my minimum max odds. I go between -250 and +190. And then for the sports books, just the books that I have accounts with. Everything else is set to default. So it's very simple. Now, of course, this whole section right here is customizable, but I bet on every single sport, and I advise you do the same. If you want to maximize your profits, you want to know every single opportunity. So I don't care if it's a golf play, if it's a wrestling play, or if it's an MMA fight. And it doesn't matter to me what league it comes from, whether it's from college baseball or MLB, or if it's basketball and it comes from a Euro League or maybe the Big Three. I want to know about all the opportunities available to me. So I really try to keep this section very simple. You want to sign up with as many sportsbooks as you possibly can because we don't know on a given day what sportsbooks is going to pop up with what value. So we want to have all of our bases covered. And right here for Gio Urshela over 1.5 player hits, we can see that FanDuel is just priced much higher compared to the rest of the market, especially when we look at a sharp offshore book like BetOnline has this at +170. We're going to get paid out more from FanDuel compared to the rest of the market. And the best part with OddsJam is this one-click bet feature where it's going to take us right over to FanDuel, pull the play up for us. It's super fast and efficient. And then right here, we can go ahead and just pump in our wager and boom, we lock this in. That took all but less than 15 seconds to go over to FanDuel and find this play. And it's going to be a lot quicker using the one-click bet feature because it takes us right to the play instead of having to searching on our own. The positive EV tool is my most successful tool that I use on OddsJam. And the really important part to figure out, guys, right here is this, that we're receiving just over a 4% edge on this play. See, the true power with sports betting is that if we constantly add plays like these all to our repertoire and to our bag each day, this compounds daily. So the stock market provides you roughly between a 7 to 8% return on average for the year. But when we're adding this play at 4% and then this play at 3.5%, 3.5%, next thing you know, we're over 10% of a daily return. And then this compounds as we continue to bet every single day, grabbing plays like this. That's what makes this such a powerful tool. Now, something else that I want to mention over here, this recommended bet size of $350, how we kind of determine how much we should be wagering per play. This comes down to the Kelly criterion method. So if we click on this purple calculator right here, it's going to take in a number of different factors. Number one is my bankroll size. Number two, then, am I going quarter Kelly, half Kelly, or full Kelly? The standard is quarter Kelly or 25%. And then we're looking at the actual edge that we're receiving in the market. We're compounding all of that together, computing it all, and then it's spitting out that this recommended wager size. And this is really keeping a level of safety in terms of our bankroll, but also making sure that we're going after and making sure we're maximizing our returns on our bankroll. So we're somewhat exposed, but not overexposed. Something else that's important to note, not just on the positive EV tool, but all the other tools on OddsJam, great lines and great value doesn't last forever. I like to think of this as robbing a bank, and this value right here on Brian De La Cruz over on his runs will not last forever. So we have to get in, extract the value, and then get out. Because at some point, the sports books will realize that they are misaligned with the rest of the market. And that's what this tool constantly does, is just kind of shows the inefficiencies and the massive discrepancies out there, but the books will pick up on this and adjust their lines accordingly. So the next tool we're gonna go over is the middles tool. And it's one of my favorite tools. It's a low-key lottery ticket, a middle bet. And right here, the Seahawks-Broncos game, granted, it's a few months down the road, but there's an opportunity with Bet365 and an offshore book. So when we click on this purple calculator right here, let's say we wanted to wager $300 on the Seahawks at +7.5. We would want to wager $20 on the Broncos -5. Guys, when we have this opportunity right here at $19.85, you want to round up or down to the nearest whole number. So for me, it's just $20 because it's a dead red giveaway to the sports books. If you add change to the end of a bet, it's just not a good look. I wouldn't advise it. Now, it's important to understand with middle betting, it's completely different than from positive EV betting. With positive EV betting, we're taking advantage of odds discrepancies between the sports books, right? All the books have a line set for De La Cruz over a half a run. So we're looking at taking advantage of the biggest price discrepancies here, and that's why FanDuel is the play. But with middle betting, we're taking advantage of line discrepancies. There's a clear line discrepancy between these two books and what the line should be set up for this Broncos-Seahawks game. Now let's break down the possible outcomes and our payouts. All right, so now that we have both bets thrown on this spreadsheet with the books, the odds, and the stake number, let's look at the first outcome, which is the Broncos win by 4 or less, or they lose the football game. So then naturally on Bet365, we're going to lose our $20 that we wagered. But on our offshore book, we're going to make a profit of $37.50. We just take the $300 times 100 divided by the odds that we receive, which is 800. That gets us $37.50. We take off our $20 we lost on Bet365, and we secure a profit of $17.50. Now, the next three outcomes is where it gets really interesting. So if the Broncos win by 5, well, then we actually would push on our Bet365 wager. We would receive our $20 back. We don't win or lose anything. But we would receive a victory here on our offshore book, so our profit would be $37.50 in total. The next two outcomes is really what we're rooting for. This is hitting a middle. So if the Broncos win by 6 or 7, then obviously we win our bet on Bet365 because they just had to win by 6 points or more in the football game. We're going to make a profit of $320, taking our 20 times it by 16 or our plus 1600 odds. Then we're also going to win on our offshore book because we just need the Seahawks to lose by 7 points or less. So losing by 7 or 6 secures us a victory on our offshore book bet. So we win $37.50 a profit. Combine this together and we make almost $358 if the Broncos win by 6 or 7. And finally, if the Broncos win by 8 points or more, then we win our wager on Bet365. So we're going to bring back $320 of profit. We lose our bet on our offshore book of $300, but it's no worries. We secure a profit of $20. And this is the power of middle betting. No matter what happens in the game, we're going to turn a profit. But if the Broncos can win by 6 or 7 points, then we're going to make a boatload of cash. Speaking of making money, no matter what happens in a game, let's hop over to the arbitrage tool where I can show you how to make risk-free cash. Now, the arbitrage tool is a way that we can make risk-free profit betting on both sides of a match. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, all these sportsbooks set their lines independently because they want your business, and because of that, there's opportunity, and here's how we can exploit it. The arbitrage tool is no different than all the other tools at OddsJam, where the software is constantly scanning and scraping hundreds of thousands of lines between the various sportsbooks that you have accounts with. What I love up here at the top is whatever your recommended bet size is or whatever you're comfortable wagering on, you can just change this number right here. So instead of 500, maybe it's 200. Okay, no problem. We have an opportunity right here in this WNBA game tonight for this player prop on the over under 5.5 rebounds. What I love about this, we know that now we have to wager $145 on the over 5.5 at FanDuel, and we have to wager $200 on BetMGM or Caesars. And no matter what happens, we're either going to secure $3.15 or $5.90. If you feel that you can wager more than this and go up to 500, that's fantastic. That just means that you can earn more money, over $10 or $11. We're betting both sides of the outcome. So we're going to take the winner and the loser, and no matter what happens because of the difference in the odds, we are going to secure a profit. So the beauty here is within a few minutes, we can lock in this young play and short either a $10 or $11 profit. Then come down here for tomorrow's baseball game, lock in a profit between these two books of either $6 or $14. And the next thing you know, we've locked in either $16 or $25 no matter what happens. Arbitrage betting is the fastest way to grow your bankroll. No matter what size it is, you constantly have funds flowing in every day, growing that bankroll ultimately to whatever number you want it to be. The next tool we're going to discuss is hands down the most often overlooked tool in all of OddsJam. And it is the most important in terms of becoming a long-term profitable sports bettor, and that's the bet tracker. So over here at the dashboard of the bet tracker, you can obviously set your account to be public if you want. You can follow people can follow you. They have a nice little graph right here, but you can kind of just go and look at various months and track every single day your activity. If you're not tracking your bets, you truly have no idea how well or not well you're doing as a sports bettor, you're really just flying blind and have no clue. So what I love about this is you can see every day's activities, all the bets that you placed. Also, when you come down here, you can filter for a specific date range, and then you can look at all of your numbers. But what's really impactful about bet tracking is the more that you track your bets, the better you can then look back and export all of this onto an Excel spreadsheet and kind of really get into the weeds and find out, well, maybe we're not doing so well at a certain sports book or at a certain sport or market, and let's find out why. This is where, as a sports bettor, you can take it to another level. Dive deep into your numbers. You can see here I had a fantastic January, made over $6,600, placed a lot of bets, got a decent amount of money down, won over half my bets. But when I look at my February, well, my February was really tough. I lost almost $5,600. But when I look back at my numbers, I actually beat the closing line value almost 10% more. Got down the same amount of bets and roughly the same staked amount, but I only won 45% of my bets compared to 52%. So it wasn't like my process was wrong and I was doing anything wrong. I just lost more of my bets. But what I can do then is export all these bets into February and find out exactly where I went wrong, and then I can use this information down the road to help myself out in the future. Another tool that I love to use is the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer for all these different daily fantasy sites like Prizepicks, Underdog, Boom, Dabble. Same process where the software just scans and searches all the lines out there and shows you the biggest discrepancies. If the plays are in green, we want to add them to our slip. And the best part is, whatever type of slip that you're trying to create, then it'll tell you, the implied odds, and then you can just change it. So for right here, if I wanted to make a 3-man nod and short slip, well then these are the plays that I want to throw on it right now. And with all these daily fantasy websites, it doesn't matter if we want to take over or under on Aaron Judge on his fantasy score, we're still going to receive a 6x payout no matter what happens. So knowing that and being able to look at other books like DraftKings and BetMGM to see what they have their fantasy score set at, we can get this at a value, and we want to add this to our slip. And when it comes to these various different sports, there's so many different options and lines that we can choose from. It's really overwhelming. So the optimizer does a great job of just showing us the best plays right now that we want to add to our slips. So the last page I want to show you is the low holds page. And this is awesome. I love to use this in a variety of ways. One way that you can use this, a lot of sportsbooks offer rewards credits and points for using their platform. So right here in this Diamondbacks Padres game between Bet365 and DraftKings, let's say we wagered $135 over on DraftKings. We would wager $100 on Bet365, and no matter what happens, whether the over or the under hits, we're going to get paid out $235. So we don't lose any money on this play no matter what happens, but we're going to gain rewards points with DraftKings because they see that we're playing on their platform. The other reason that you would use this type of page is because a lot of sportsbooks offer awesome bonus bets if you wager X amount of dollars on their platform. So again, we have an opportunity here between Bet365 and BetMGM and ESPN Bet on this Peyton Pritchard on his assists. So this is another way that you can wager money without winning or losing anything, but obtain those awesome bonus bets. Well, let's say you did receive a bonus bet from DraftKings. Over here in the left-hand corner, you're going to want to come to Promo Converter. Click on the sportsbook down here that you received the bet with, and then also what type of maybe bonus bet or site credit you received from the book. Here it's going to be a $100 bonus bet from DraftKings, and you're going to want to go after the top play, but more importantly, focus on this green percentage right here on the right side. This means that we're going to be able to extract 95% of this $100 bonus bet. So on this Netherlands-France matchup, we're going to want to wager $1,000 over at Fanatics on the over on the total goals, and then we're going to want to make sure that we use the $100 bonus bet on the under right here, and no matter what happens, we're either going to bring back $95.24 of profit or $100 if this bet hits on DraftKings. If you didn't want to wait until June 21st, well then you could go for the next available play, which is this Red Sox-White Sox matchup. And as you can see, we're going to be able to extract just over 76% of the $100 free bet, meaning you're going to make $76 in risk-free profit. The power of OddsJam is truly insane. With so many different tools at your fingertips, you can turn sports betting into a serious side hustle. Have you ever wondered how much money you can make sports betting in a year? What if we could make over $1 million a year? Click this video right here that will show you your true earning potential in a year of sports betting. It breaks down exactly what you can expect to make, and maybe you can quit that 9-to-5 job for good.